Hey everyone, so today I wanted to show you my collection of solo Beatles records. I don't think I've done this before on its own, so I thought it'd be fun to kind of show what I have. Just a word of warning, I do not have any Ringo records, so just wanted to get that out of the way. But I am working on it, and I am missing a few big ones like All Things Must Pass, but again, I am working on it, so I got that out of the way. Anyway, let's get started. So the first one I have here is George Harrison's Living in the Material World. Now this is a newer pressing that I got recently. There we go. Now this has Gimme Love, Gimme Peace on Earth, Try Some, Buy Some. It's a really good record, though not as good as All Things Must Pass. Yeah, let me show you the label because I think the label is really cool. So there's the label. I think that's really neat. It's still on Apple Records, but it has like a custom label, which is cool. Okay, next up is George Harrison's self-titled album. And here's the back. Now this has Not Guilty and Blow Away, which are really good songs. This whole record's really good, actually. And here is the inner sleeve. It's a little knackered, but that's okay. It has all the lyrics on it. And here's the record. This one's on Dark Horse Records, which is George Harrison's label. So this is not on Apple Records. Okay, next up is George Harrison's Cloud 9. This is also on Dark Horse Records. Here is the sleeve. So we got Eric Clapton, Elton John, Jeff Lynne, George Harrison there. Ringo plays drums on this record. This is a really cool album. And this was his last one before he made Brainwashed. Now, apparently when I was a kid, like a little kid, I Got My Mind Set on You was like my favorite song in the world, so whatever that means. Anyway, let's keep going. This is Classic Ono Band by John Lennon. I have it in this plastic sleeve, appropriately, I guess, given the name. And let me show you the record. So this is on Apple Records, but the Apple, here's a sleeve, has all the lyrics on it. And John and Yoko, more lyrics. And here is the Apple, which looks a little different than what you're probably used to. Though the same idea with the hole and cut apple. And this is John's best record, so if you haven't heard this one yet, listen to it. It's very raw. A lot of emotion in there. Okay, next up is Imagine by John Lennon. And this is also on Apple Records. But the logo, it's still an apple, but it has John's face in there, which is a little weird. Especially when you see it spinning on your turntable. And here are all the credits in a circle there. And here's the back with all the lyrics in a weird kind of circular square thing going on there. It's a little weird. And this has one of the postcards included with it. Here it is. A little weird, but I like it. It's supposed to have another postcard with John holding a pig in the same manner that Paul holds that ram on the cover of Ram. It's supposed to be a spoof on that. But I don't have that postcard. Okay, next up is Mind Games by John Lennon. Very underrated album, in my opinion. Here are the songs. I'm a big fan of Mind Games, Aisumisen, which means I'm sorry in Japanese. Intuition's a really good song. I Know is really good. So yeah, this is a really underrated album. This is also on Apple Records. Oh, here's the sleeve, which just has the lyrics printed on it. And here's the record. This is the standard Apple that you're probably used to seeing, though it's a little lighter. And there's the cut Apple on the back. Really cool album. Okay, moving on. We got Walls and Bridges. Apparently this is a first pressing, though I really haven't looked too into it. But this has the cool, the kind of fragile cover where these strips are like this. And you can kind of customize. And there's John on the back with a bunch of different glasses. And this has John Lennon's, I think, his only #1 hit, Whatever Gets You Through the Night, and that's with Elton John. And here are the rest of the songs. Ya Ya is a short snippet of him playing Ya Ya with his son on drums, with Julian on drums, which is kind of sweet. And I'm a really big fan of Nobody Loves You When You're Down Tonight. I think that's a really cool song. Kind of depressing though. This is a top loader, kind of like the White Album. As you can see here. Here's the record sleeve, which has more John Lennon on it. And this is on Apple Records. So let's show you that. And this is pretty much on the standard, like, dark green Apple that we're used to seeing. And this also has a lyric sheet, which I will get out once I put this back in here. Okay, there it goes. And here is the lyric sheet with another picture of John. This is recorded during his Lost Weekend, which was about 18 months. I don't know why they call it Lost Weekend. And he was living in Los Angeles and partying with, I think it was Keith Moon and Harry Nilsson and Ringo. And they would just wander around Los Angeles and get drunk and get into fights and all that. So kind of a dark time for John. He really wasn't in a good state of mind when he was split up with Yoko, I guess. But a really good record came out of it, so. Okay, so next up is John Lennon's, let me just readjust my camera here. There we go. John Lennon's last album that was released while he was alive, and this is Double Fantasy. And this is on Geffen Records, which is what he signed on. I know this is later pressings were done like on EMI, Capitol, and all that, but originally this was on Geffen Records. And this has one of those sleeves where you can't put the record back in, so that's kind of annoying. But yeah. Really like this album. I mean, I think Just Like Starting Over might have been the first John Lennon song I ever heard in my life. Just so you know, I grew up like knowing the solo stuff and I didn't really grow up listening to the Beatles. The Beatles is something I got into when I was a late teen, but growing up I used to hear a lot of John Lennon and George Harrison. Mostly John Lennon and George Harrison, not too much Paul. But yeah, that's kind of what my parents listened to, insofar as like Beatles stuff. Now, this is when I go back in. What am I doing wrong? All right. So next up is my Paul stuff, and this is McCartney 1. Well, this is just called McCartney until McCartney 2 came out, I guess. It's kind of like Terminator. So there's that. Here's the track listing. This was a very lo-fi, almost experimental record that he put out. I think this came out before Let It Be, which was kind of a point of contention. for the rest of the group. And from what I understand, I might be wrong about this, he didn't... I don't think he was going to originally put this on Apple Records, but I think George told him to. So, I really like this record, though. Some of it's a little too lo-fi for me. But, I mean, it has Maybe I'm Amazed on it. And it has Junk. So, Every Night's a really good song, too. So, yeah, this is a great record. But very lo-fi. And I think Paul plays all the instruments on this record. Correct me if I'm wrong. Okay, next up is Ram, which is one of Paul's best. Not my favorite, but a lot of people's favorites. This is actually Paul and Linda McCartney. So it's credited to both of them. And here's the back. That's some not very subtle imagery there. Paul with his family. And yeah, I really like this record. I'm a big fan of Heart of the Country, Eat at Home. Smile Away is a really good song. Dear Boy is great. Dear Boy is almost like a Beach Boy song when you think about it. Uncle Albert's really good. This is just an overall solid album. And it really makes you wonder what an album after Abbey Road would have been like. Because this, Plastic Ono Band / Imagine and All Things Must Pass were all released around the same time. So imagine if they stayed together. Okay, next up is Band on the Run. Really cool cover, and it has Christopher Lee on there, which is really cool. And this has a lot of Paul McCartney classics like Jet, Helen Wheels. That's a really good song. I like that. I'm a really, really big fan of Picasso's Last Words. I think that's a fun song, especially when they start singing drunk. Here is the sleeve. From what I understand, and correct me if I'm wrong, this album was recorded in Africa after Paul McCartney found out that EMI had a studio, I think in Nigeria, which explains the sleeve. But I might be wrong about the exact African country where this is recorded, but still, really cool. Really, really cool. Okay, next up is Chopa BCCCP, which is a Russian record. And it's mostly covers. And I don't know what it says on the back here, because I don't read Russian. And I think this is on a Russian label. Yeah. So here's the record. I don't even know where I got this. It's just like always been in my record collection. Not much to say about this, to be honest, and it's not really like highly regarded amongst Paul McCartney's catalog, so. But I'm happy to have it. Okay, next up is Tug of War. And this was released in 1982, just like me. And this was produced by George Martin. And I got this for $5 years ago. And as you can see, it's for promotion only. So I might get in trouble for buying this, but that's okay. I've avoided the law so far. Avoided justice. Here's the sleeve. This is on Columbia Records. This has Here Today on it, which is Paul McCartney's tribute song to John. And there it is on Columbia Records. Really cool. Okay. Last but not least, I have Flaming Pie. Now this just came out at the end of last month. This is the remastered on 2 records. I made a whole video about this, so I'm not going to really take it out of the sleeves. But here's the gatefold. And this record sounds amazing. And this is my favorite Paul McCartney album, followed by Ram. So I'm really happy to finally have this on vinyl here. But yeah, that's it. Now, like I said, I am working on getting more solo Beatle records, including All Things Must Pass, which is a big, like it's a big hole in my collection not having that. So I'm working on getting that. I just want to find it for a good price. And I do want to get some Ringo records. I'll probably get Ringo and maybe like a greatest hits. We'll see though. But yeah, this is gonna get bigger. I do want to get most of them. Anyway, that's it for today. Thank you for watching.